expensive cost of landfilling. We went from $5 a ton for disposal in 1990 all the way up to $34 a ton today in 1997. So that was the emphasis.
Really,
that was the primary factor that led us to a PayAsYouThrow
was that
program.
all of a sudden in the next budget cycle we were going to have to come up with about $1 million. They asked me how I could come up with it.
It was clear that we couldn't site a new landfill, close the old ones, start a curbside recycling program for the entire county without causing substantial pain to the taxpayers for the property tax.
And privatization is becoming a big
beyond
buzzword. So we looked at this from a standpoint of a combination of the environment and if we can save people some money. I think those were probably the two driving forces that got us involved.
And as our taxes began to rise, we felt that we just could not keep on raising taxes that way.
Very challenging.
So that we felt that one way that we could...
Our city council said, take a look at it and see what you can come up with. There were no restrictions, so we could kind of use our imaginations and...
The delivery of solid waste services is changing. Solid waste managers are routinely being asked to meet both economic and environmental goals through a range of diverse programs. To address the challenges they face, many planners are turning to a program known as unit-based pricing, or pay-as-you-throw. The concept behind pay-as-you-throw is simple. Residents pay for solid waste services based on the amount of waste they generate, in much the same way they pay for other services and utilities. Pay-as-you-throw programs began taking hold in a handful of communities in the early 1980s. But since the early 1990s, that number has skyrocketed. Today, over 4,000 communities in more than 40 states have some type of pay-as-you-throw program in place. And these numbers are on the rise. To better understand the growing popularity of these programs, we asked dozens of planners, elected officials, residents, and stakeholders from a range of communities to share their experiences with Pay-as-you-throw. In the next hour, you'll hear how and why communities across the country made Pay-as-you-throw part of a successful and sustainable solution for managing solid waste. The remainder of this video is organized around 4 key topics. Part 1, Getting Started, covers a variety of goal-setting, planning, and education issues that are important to consider when designing a pay-as-you-throw program. Part 2, Operations, looks at a number of implementation factors that will help you design a program to meet your community's specific goals. Part 3, Economics and Rate Structure Design, covers the financial and pricing aspects of pay-as-you-throw. And in Part 4, Program Results, communities share their achievements and review key strategies for continued success. Each part contains short, standalone modules that can be presented at town meetings or can help you design and implement your own program. EPA has also prepared a full range of pay-as-you-throw products and tools. These include the Pay-as-you-throw Toolkit, fact sheets for different audiences, and success stories, which contain first-hand accounts from designers of successful pay-as-you-throw programs. To order, or for more information, call the Pay-as-you-throw helpline at 1-888-EPA-PAYT. You can also visit Pay-as-you-throw online at www.epa.gov/PAYT for instant access to these and other tools. Part 1 will help you plan for success by presenting the strategies and experiences used by practitioners of successful programs. Specifically, you'll hear about the importance of designing to achieve goals, building consensus, identifying and overcoming barriers, educating the public, and addressing the needs of diverse populations. Before you decide to implement a pay-as-you-throw program, you need to know what goals you're hoping to achieve.
We found that there's really no cookie-cutter program for pay-as-you-throw. It's very flexible, and communities can design and tailor their own program structure to meet their needs and goals.
You know, if I were a city, or if I were recommending to a city what to do in this effort, is, I think number one, I'd say carve out your own path. There's lots of information out there. Environmental Protection Agency has information, all kinds of toolkits. You can take that information, but you need to tailor it. You have to look at your existing waste structure, how you're currently collecting your trash, and what kind of recycling programs you have, and so forth. And design your pay-as-you-throw program around that, what works for you.
That, to me, is the real beauty of pay-as-you-throw. You can adapt it to your community, you can customize it to what your needs are and your issues are, and you can make it work.
In theory, pay-as-you-throw can work in any size or type of community. However, local circumstances can pose real barriers to implementing the program. These include contractual limitations such as put or pay agreements, immature recycling programs or markets, limited budgets for public education and outreach, and a high percentage of multifamily housing units. Not all communities facing these issues are ready for pay-as-you-throw, but can use it now as a planning tool to identify opportunities to modify existing RFPs or to renegotiate contracts in the future. Winning the support of residents, elected officials, and others is critical to a successful pay-as-you-throw program. As a starting point, consider which issues are likely to be of most concern to your key stakeholders and identify the common ground on which to build your program.
I think the biggest barrier is really a political issue. The first question that pops into their mind is, will my citizens go for this? Will they turn over the council because a new cost is being imposed upon them? Once they understand that it is in fact not a new cost, I think people generally settle with it. But it is a dicey issue for politicians to deal with.
There's a fear, a political fear on behalf of the politician of worrying about getting elected rather than worrying about the next generation. But I think that while we had all these things, I feel the solution to it was we allowed the people to vote on it and make the final decision, that it was going to be a democratic decision. What we wanted to do was introduce the public to the problem, which they basically were aware of, and the possible solutions, and ask the people to basically work with their government in solving the garbage crisis for the community.
That was our goal in putting together this task force, is to really have a group of people that are from the community, represent the community, and can come up with what we consider a very good solution to the recycling issue.
You have to work with a consensus of the governing body because you're impacting the tax rate, and you have to act with a consensus of citizens advisory groups because you're impacting a change in the way they handle their garbage.
In Seekonk, we were so fortunate that it was the Board of Selectmen that created the Recycling Committee and invested them with this power and trusted their recommendations.
Building consensus within a community for pay-as-you-throw can be difficult, but many communities face the additional challenge of making the program work smoothly with private haulers who serve area residents. Let's see what San Jose, California learned about that process.